Welcome to the U.S. Kiss Vinyl Reference YouTube channel. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Alright folks, welcome back to another episode of the U.S. Kiss Vinyl Reference. I am Mike Stone, your host, as always. I mean, really, it's not a lie. But anyway, today we are going to talk about promotional vinyl. And we'll go into what a promotional record is and how to classify something as a promotional copy. So, with that said, as always, get all your episode viewing paraphernalia together, whatever that might be. I don't really need to know. I really probably don't want to know for some, but it is what it is. Make sure you got your bladder and or colon cleaned out, and I'll be back in a minute. Alright folks, welcome back. So, as I said, we are going to talk about promotional copies today. And we're going to get into what it is. And, if we're being honest, this is just my favorite kind of vinyl to collect for Kiss is promotional copies. So, it hasn't always been the case. A few friends of mine in this hobby can probably remember back to a time where I said I will never mess with promotional copies. And I mean, a few of them will probably remember a time when I said I'll never touch 45s. So, yeah. Habits change, I guess. But anyway. No new Kiss vinyl news this week that I'm aware of. I believe we touched on the Animalize reissue last time around. So, for those that really love Animalize, I don't know, the package looks kind of neat. Kind of interested to see how the jacket and the fur kind of work out, but for those of you who are trying to figure out how to store something like that, and like the recent 50th anniversary of the Kiss debut that has the rhinestones on the jackets, top loaders might be a good investment. It's a plastic sleeve that, as it implies, it loads in from the top, and it's kind of a hard plastic, and it's rigid instead of like these plastic sleeves that I use on the records that are real flimsy. So that might be the way to go on the Animalize reissue that's coming. So, with that said, promotional copies. What is a promotional copy? Basically, you strip away everything. The basic definition of a promotional copy is a copy that was handed out for free. No royalties paid. Alright? So, it could be given to anybody that the label felt necessary, or the band. Family members, friends, and then for the business side of it, you got record stores, radio stations, magazine reviewers, TV talk shows, just anything that any person that the label felt necessary to push their product. So that's basically what a promotional copy is. Now, some promotional copies are marked, some aren't. The ones that are marked will usually have some kind of cut corner, saw mark, hole punch, or a gold stamp on the jacket. Um, Many will have promotional text on the label on the record, and then you get to some that you know they just kind of cut a corner off of a stock copy and said, "Here you go." So, um, to me, it's got to have. If it's going to have just a cut corner on the jacket, there better be a promotional text on the label. Because, I mean, cut corners also ended up in discount bins at the record store. So, there's got to be a line drawn somewhere on what is and what isn't a promo from a collector's perspective. I mean, sure, you could say, my dad's brother's cousin's best friend worked at a record store and this was handed to him by a label rep. And it's just got a cut corner and nothing else. There's no way to prove that. So, it's kind of like I always say, I'm not paying for the story, I'm paying for the record. So, that is what it is. Now, some records will not have promotional text on the labels, and that's fine, but to me there needs to be a gold stamp on the jacket, something that's hard to replicate. I'm not saying that a gold stamp can't be replicated, but I mean, at this point, when we're talking about the KISS catalog, you'd have to replicate the wear, the flaking off, and all that, and I think it would be harder than normal. So that's kind of my thoughts on what the definition of a promo is. I'm sure some others kind of agree with me, and some others probably don't. There have been discussions over the years in the groups about it, where somebody will say, well, this has got the cut corner with a notch, so it's a promo, whether the label says it or not. Sorry, but no, it's not. So, all right, ran over. All right, so what do you say we get started on these here promo copies? So, as always, we start from the front to the back. Giggity. All right, the debut. So, I was talking about promotional marks on the jacket. This one has a pink sticker on the jacket. Promotional copy, not for sale. As did many, many, many other Warner Brothers Records albums back in the day. So, as we know, Casablanca was distributed by Warner Brothers when this was first released. So that's why we get a Warner Brothers sticker on here. That sticker does not belong on any other KISS record. I know I've seen in the groups of like copies of Alive that'll have this sticker on it. That was well after the Warner deal was cut off and done. So, but yeah, this is the promotional mark on the jacket. You take this off, you got a retail jacket. There is literally no difference in this jacket to the retail copy that I'm looking at right off screen here. So, alright. And plain white inner sleeve. Now let's check out the vinyl. So we have a white Casablanca label. Notice on the left hand side it says promotion, And on the right side, it says not for sale. So there is your promo mark on the label. And now, just to clear up any further confusion, because some people believe that a promotional copy has to have a white label. And I'm talking records in general here. Not all promos will be white label. Not all white labels will be promos. So it happens to be for the Kiss album, they used a white label. And for the originals, they also used a white label. So in Kiss's catalog, there's only 2 white label promos. The rest of them all fall on the label that was considered their first issue label. So now, what we was talking about with promo marks on the jacket and not the vinyl. So, again, we have a copy of the first album. There's a promo sticker right there. But the record itself is just a regular Blue Label 1 copy without Kissin' Time on side 2. So this is what I mean. There's no promo text on that label at all. And I'm not going to put an image up. I'm just going to show you the label right there. And there's no promotional text on the side 2 label either. So that's what I was talking about with a jacket that's marked but a record that isn't. So this Warner Brothers sticker, you can find that on promotional copies from any artist on Warner. I mean, Black Sabbath, Van Halen, Leon Redbone, whatever. These stickers are also notorious for just falling off because they're not that great. They weren't stuck that great. So, I mean, anybody can take a sticker, slap it on a jacket, and I got a promo copy. So, with that said, to me, I do not value this copy right here any more than I value my retail copy that I have sitting off screen here. The only difference between the two is one has that Warner sticker, the other one doesn't. I was okay with not having a copy, but I came across one in a flea market for like $20, so I picked it up. That's the only way I was going to have a copy of this, because I wasn't interested in paying a whole bunch to have a copy of something that could be made at home, so to speak. And I am going to have to pause for a second, and you will never know the difference. And like I said, you never knew I went anywhere, so. Alright, so that was the debut, and now we are on to Hotter Than Hell. And let me jack my volume up just a little bit. Maybe that's better. Alright. So, Hotter Than Hell. The marking on the jacket, I mean, this is just the same as a retail copy, except for that little cut corner right there. Alright. Plain white inner sleeve. And as I was saying before, how not all promo copies are white label. So this is the promotional label for Hotter Than Hell. It's a Blue Label number 2. And if you look over to the left-hand side, it says Promotion there above stereo. And then on the right-hand side, it says Not For Sale up above side 1. So this is a standard blue label, and it's got promotional text added to it. So these blue label promos like this can be potentially be found at a fairly cheap price, because say somebody goes out and buys a collection and they're checking it over real quick before they put it in their store or their flea market booth or however it is that they sell records. You know, that white label debut, that thing's going to stick out like a sore thumb. They're going to see that and realize something. The promo text on these blue labels can be fairly easy to miss, and I myself have benefited from that. I've found, you know, a copy of Hotter Than Hell at a record show for $15. I've found a copy of Dress to Kill on eBay that had a blurry picture, but I could see where the promo text should be. I could see that there was text there, and I was able to get it for $30. So it can be done. You just got to know what to look for and where, and I mean, sky's the limit. You can Destroyer. I don't think I've paid above $10 for a promo copy of Destroyer, and I've had 2 or 3 of them now. So, you know, so just learning what and where to look for is all you need. If you know, not paying full price for promos is your thing, because these things can get pretty pricey. So, all right, on to Dress to Kill. So with Dress to Kill, again, no difference from this jacket to a retail jacket, but see that little saw mark right there? That's the promotional mark, and that could be anywhere on a jacket. I've compared with friends that'll have it over here and down here and over here. But I mean, as the name implies, it's a saw mark, literally just probably a bandsaw. They just went neat, and just something to let the distributor know that this can't be returned for any kind of credit, because it was a royalty-free handout. All right. White inner sleeve, which is period correct for this time. And then the vinyl, again, is a blue label number 2. And now if you look over to the left-hand side, underneath where it says produced by and engineered by, you'll see it says promotion copy, not for sale. So there's your promotional label for Dress to Kill. And now, get that back in there. And just to make a note, there's retail copies of Dress to Kill that have a white hype sticker on it. I've never seen a promotional copy jacket come with a hype sticker and have a saw mark, so I'm not convinced that they sent promotional copies out with a sticker on it. That's just my opinion there. And next up is Alive, the big one. So this is the kind of what saved Kiss, and surprisingly, as much as I figured Casablanca was trying to get the name out, at this time because Casablanca was going broke until this album came out. Seems to be kind of a tough promo to find. So, again, with the saw mark on the jacket, this one's not as pronounced as Dress to Kill was. Get my finger up there. Maybe it'll focus in on that a little better. But yeah, it's just a real shallow mark. It's got the gatefold that we all know and love because this is just it's the same kind of jacket that a retail copy comes in. Inserts. The promotional copies will come with the inserts that came with the standard retail issue. Inner sleeve. The image is getting clearer, and then we've got a 12 back on there. We call it a 12 back. It's got 12 albums on the back of the inner sleeve. Clever name, huh? All right. Next up is the vinyl. And again, we are on a blue label number 2. And if you go over to the right-hand side, below where it says side 1, you'll see it says promotion copy, not for sale. So there's your promo label for Alive. Alright, and now we're getting into Destroyer, and we have a special release before we get to the album. So this is a promotional sampler for the album. It is to promote their upcoming summer tour, as the jacket implies there, a special Kiss album for their summer tour featuring cuts for all formats. It has 4 songs on it. So it's just a little taste to give to the radio stations to play. I know, like in St. Louis, I don't know if they still do or not, but it used to be back when I would go to concerts up there in the 90s. They would play, after the concert was over, there was a radio station, KC 95. They would play, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes worth of that artist material after the concert. You know, just to kind of, for the drive home, I guess. So this could have been used for something like that, or, you know, anything. So we have a plain white inner sleeve. Get back in there. Pull the record out and worry about the inner sleeve later. And then the vinyl has the first Kiss custom label. And it's that bicentennial Spirit of 76 image. And if you notice, down towards the bottom, Gene's boots are drawn in. You know, he's just standing there on the teeth of that dragon. And I would say the lower half of Paul's guitar is also drawn in. And probably Ace's boots. It's been retouched. And kind of a collectible album. It's not super common, but it can be found. Mine's a little worse for wear, but it plays, and I'm good with it. I don't have to have a shiny new copy of it. Though if I found a shiny new copy for a fairly cheap price, I would definitely pick it up. So Yes, we call this the Summer Tour Sampler, and it's a good one to have. And then we get to the proper album. So we got a new mark now. You can kind of see that the corner is whacked, and then you've got that notch in the center of it. I call it a double cut. Some people just call it a notched corner, but it's just a new way that they mark promos now. And there have been debates, because there are records that are sealed that have that notch. I am not convinced at all that they are promos. And if you open that thing up and it's got a regular label in it with no promo text, guess what? It's not a promo. So, there's the notch. It's got that custom inner sleeve, which also caught the notch. And then the vinyl is a blue label number 3 with a Sunset Boulevard address at the bottom. And if you look over to the right hand side, you can see that it says promotion not for sale up in the palm trees. So just another thing to look out for. That silver text can be overlooked. I mean, it's not exactly easy to see if you're just looking quick. So, you know, it's best to know, like I said, know what you're looking for and where to look for it, because sometimes something like that will pop up on eBay for $10 and you better be quick if you want it, because somebody else has probably noticed too. Like I said, I never gave more than $10 for a promo copy of Destroyer, and I've had a couple of them. But yeah, it's all they pop up on eBay with a buy it now, and yeah, I'll scan up at that palm tree and see if I see anything there, and if I do, I buy it now. All right, next up, Rock and Roll Over. So Rock and Roll Over also had a sampler similar to Destroyer. So special edition for radio station airplay only, promotional copy, not for sale. The cover's black and white and it's 180. The back of it lists the 5 songs that are on here. I Want You, Hard Luck Woman, Take Me, Baby Driver, and Love 'Em and Leave 'Em. Alright. Has the Rock and Roll Over album inner sleeve in it. And then it also comes with the inserts, the sticker and the merch sheet. And then the vinyl is what we call a camel label. If you look at the label, you'll see a fortress there, and then you'll see 3 camels. So that's kind of the easiest way to describe it. And then you'll see it says Kiss Special Edition there up above the spindle hole. And then over on the right hand side it says not for sale, special edition for radio station airplay only. So there is the Rock and Roll Over sampler. Now this one a little controversial. So there are copies floating around with a jacket that is color. I don't have an image right here handy, but I can probably find one thanks to my buddy John Humphrey. So Is it real? Is it fake? We're not going to get into that on here, but I have done an episode myself called The Troublemaker, where I was traveling up to a record show that John Humphrey happened to have a table at, and he was kind enough to bring his color copy up there with him so I could look it over, and I filmed a little bit of it, and I gave my thoughts on it at the end. And then I was also on a episode of Kiss My Wax with Jason Herndon and John Humphrey and and Joe Wallich. And there was, I believe that episode was called Real or Fake or something like that, and it was a 2-part episode. So I was on part 2 with some findings that I had unearthed with taking jackets apart and whatnot. So if you want to get the whole scoop on that whole story, I would suggest starting with the Kiss My Wax episode, Real or Fake, that I was on, and then the Troublemaker episode that I did myself. So I'm not going to touch that one on this one because I'm still not 100% certain where I land on it. But anyway, on to the album, Rock and Roll Over. So this has that notched corner again, like the Destroyer promo. And then, of course, the inner sleeve. A lot of this stuff wants to not go back in. And then the inserts, the sticker and the merch sheet, of course. And now, the label. We have a camel label. And on the left-hand side, up above the catalog number, you see it says promotion copy, not for sale. And then also, up above, you have the title and the logo above the spindle hole in big letters. And on the right-hand side, it says side A. So side A and side B. So I'm pointing out some variations there because, well, I'm pointing out some features there because there's variations. All right. So, as I'm putting this up, I forgot a record, but anyway, from the debut to the originals, which is the record that I forgot, there are no variations that I know of. I'll go ahead and interrupt Rock and Roll Over and start on the originals here. So, we all know about the huge set that is the originals. 3 LP set. It's a repackaging of the first 3 albums. Alright. It has inner sleeves that are reproductions of the album artwork. So there's your debut, your Hotter Than Hell, your Dressed to Kill. And then inserts. So there's a booklet a Kiss Army sticker, and then a sheet of uncut cards. And then the vinyl is another white label. So, and if you look over there to the right, underneath where it says side 1, you see it says promotion copy, not for sale. So this is the only other white label in the Kiss catalog, in the US catalog, that's a promotional copy. And all 3 records have that same white label. So that is a it's a good one to have for the collection, because it's not too common promotional copy, and really it doesn't make any sense that this exists, because radio stations aren't going to play the whole damn thing. It's 3 albums long. Radio station's not going to do that. And chances are, if a radio station got a promotional copy for this, they got a promotional copy for those. So they're doubled up here. So anyway, then we'll move past that rock and roll over that I just did. Then we've got another promotional copy of Rock and Roll Over. So we got that same notched corner there. Same insert, same inner sleeve. Don't see the point in pulling them out. We have a camel label. And if you will look to the right hand side, underneath where it says side 2, you'll see it says not for sale. Doesn't say nothing about promotional, but it says not for sale. So there's a variation there. And while I'm thinking about it, the logo and the title are above the spindle hole, and they're small letters. And then on the right hand side it says side 1, and so side 1, side 2, as opposed to the variation that I showed before. And the only reason these label variations exist, as I've probably mentioned a couple of times, these things were pressed in several pressing plants at the same time. So, and I think the pressing plants got to have a little bit of liberty on how they laid the information out on the label. So, all right, we got a 3rd copy of Rock and Roll Over. And I will be right back. All right. 3rd copy of Rock and Roll Over. So this one has a hole punched in the jacket, which I still got all my stuff in there. That's why you can't see all the way through. Now you can't. Still. There you go. There's my eye. Yeah, so literally just a hole punch. Just something to mark the jacket so the distributor would know. And then the label on the vinyl is a camel label. And if you look over to the right hand side, up above where it says stereo, it says promotional copy, not for sale. And then the difference on the label, you've got the title above the spindle hole, the logo below, and then on the right hand side it's got side I and side II for Roman numerals. So there are there's those three distinct layouts for Rock and Roll Over. And in my experience, Rock and Roll Over seems to be the promo that comes up the least for me. I don't see them on eBay very often. Especially the one I'm about to show next. Alright, so a fourth copy of Rock and Roll Over, which is a fairly recent discovery. I want to say it's been in the last few years now. 4 or 5 years maybe, somewhere around there. So, no promotional marks on the jacket at all. And I have confirmed with, I have confirmed with friends that also own a copy that their jacket also has no marks. Inserts an inner sleeve as always. The label is a Filmworks label. So now you remember the Fortress. Now there's a whole ass film crew there in the foreground, and it says Casablanca Record and Filmworks. And then you get over to the right hand side underneath where it says side 1, and it says not for sale. So that is a reissue label for Rock and Roll Over, because this label started around mid 77 after the original release, and it's a promotional copy on a reissue label, and both sides say not for sale. So, but as I said, I've got a couple of friends that also have found copies here and there, and it's the same story. Their jackets are not marked. Now, I do have a theory on why this one exists, and to hear that theory, I'm going to urge you to go watch my Rock and Roll Over episode, because, well, I mean, that's just it. I don't have all of the specifics on that theory in my head right now. I had it all wrote down for the Rock and Roll Over episode, so I was prepared. And I don't want to give any wrong information or miss out anything. So yeah, go watch the Rock and Roll Over episode, and I'll tell you what my theory is about that one right there. So moving on to Love Gun. Now with Love Gun, we also got that promotional notch there. The inner sleeve that we all know and love. And the inserts, the gun and the merch form. Now the vinyl has that custom Love Gun label, and if you look off to the left it says promotional copy, and on the right it says not for sale. So there's your promotional label. And I know I haven't really been mentioning it, but not a single one of these jackets have any features on them whatsoever that distinguish them from a retail copy. There's nothing special printed on the jackets about it, or nothing like that. These can all be retail jacket copies so far. But now, starting with Alive 2, it's going to get a little bit different. So, with Alive 2, we finally get a gold stamp. That one says loan for promotion only, not for sale, ownership and all rights reserved. Alright. Gatefold jacket, that we all know. Inner sleeves. The custom inner sleeves. The inserts as well. The booklet, the tattoo sheet, and the merch sheet. And then the vinyl. So, if you look over on the right hand side above where it says side 1, you see it says promotion copy not for sale. And then I'm going to point out also that the KISS logo and the title are above the spindle hole. Alright? Pointing that out because there's variations. Come on, thumb, work. Sometimes my fingers get a little slick and I can't navigate these disc keepers. Alright. So, Alive 2 is where the gold stamps started. Alright. Now, this copy of Alive 2 has the hype sticker on the jacket. Also has a gold stamp, but the wording is a little different. Has the same innards as the other. Inner sleeve and inserts and such. Alright. Now, if you'll look off to the left hand side underneath the catalog number, it says promotional copy not for sale. Also notice that the KISS logo is above the spindle hole, but the title is below. So there's a second variation of the Alive 2 promo. And it seems to me that I don't see Alive 2 promotional copies come up very often. And I'm talking about just looking on eBay. I mean, I do look at Discogs every now and then. I do have a want list, but I am the world's worst when it comes to paying attention to it. So, and then we have a third variation of Alive 2. So this one also has a gold stamp, even though it almost didn't make it to the jacket. Same inner sleeve, same inserts. We've got the title and the logo above the spindle hole. And then on the right hand side above the catalog number it says promotional copy not for sale. So there's a third label variation for the Alive 2 promo. Alright. So now we're starting to get into the double platinum territory. And double platinum has a sampler. It is called A Taste of Platinum. And it's just a 4-song sampler for the double platinum album, similar to the Rock and Roll Over and Destroyer samplers. Yes, this jacket is a little worse for wear. After I show the label here, I'll tell you the story on how I got it. So, there it is on the Filmworks label. And if you look to the left-hand side above the catalog number, you see it says promotion copy. And then the right-hand side above where it says side 1, it says not for sale. Alright. And come on, fingers. There we go. So, the story of how I found this one. So, I am in a flea market in the middle of nowhere between Harrison, Arkansas and Branson, Missouri. I forget the name of the town. I forget the name of the flea market. I just know it's in the middle of nowhere. There is a stack of records about 2 foot tall on this table in the flea market, just haphazardly stacked on top of one another. And on top of them is a note that says records, $2 each. So I'm just walking up to the stack, and if you'll look at the bottom of the screen, I see about that much of this record sticking out of the stack. And so I kind of glance down there and I can see a little bit of the red text on the spine, but it's kind of facing a little wonky from me. So I dig in there, and sure as shit, it is Taste of Platinum. So I hold it up to the guy. I was like, yo, you wanting $2 for this? He's like, well, it's Kiss. I'm going to have to ask a little more for that. I'm going to have to ask $25. I was like, all right. So, I mean, the guy thought he was getting one over on me, but he really had no idea. So, that's how I come into the Taste of Platinum. For the samplers, this is the toughest one to get. And, I mean, the record's good. I play it kind of often. Yeah, the jacket's a little worse for wear, but I mean, for $25 just a couple of years ago when this was selling for considerably higher, I'm good with it. All right, on to the proper album, Double Platinum. So we got that nice and shiny jacket there. And on that nice and shiny jacket, we have a gold stamp. Mine also has a track list sticker on the back. I have seen stamped copies with and without. I have also seen sealed copies that had the sticker on the shrink, and that gold stamp was pressed through the shrink and through the sticker. So, sealed copies of Double Platinum, I'm kind of convinced that they can be legit. There's that gatefold that we all know and love. Plain white sleeves. Insert the Platinum Award and the merch sheet, just as the retail copy came with. And then the vinyl. There's that custom double platinum label. And if you look over to the left hand side underneath the catalog number, you will see that it says promotional copy, not for sale. So there is one of the variations of double platinum. Alright, and then we have another variation of double platinum. So that shiny jacket again, mine does not have a gold stamp on it, but it does have that saw mark right there. Track list sticker. The inserts in the inner sleeve as the other copy had. And then the label is also that custom label with slightly different font for the text, but the real tell on this one is in the upper right. You see it says promotional copy, not for sale. So there's the next variation of double platinum. And with that one, I believe I'm going to go ahead and end this episode, and we will pick up on the next installment where we left off here. So I thank you for hanging around here with me, and as always, and I will see you on the next one.